Representative Donna Edwards of Maryland and Republican Maura Gillespie, former aide to former Representative Adam Kinzinger. Donna, President Biden has remained relatively quiet about his predecessor, Donald Trump's second indictment. The New York Times reports, quote, President Biden and his advisors have concluded that commenting on the indictment would only feed into the Republican accusations of a politically motivated prosecution. With Trump out there pushing this narrative, how do you think the Biden administration is handling this situation?
Well, I think the president is right on point in the administration. I think when President Biden took office, he made clear that he was going to keep an arm's length distance from the Department of Justice. He has honored that. The department is acting in the kind of independent way that we did not see under the previous president. And I think that if Democrats were to say anything vocally about these charges, then it will just fuel the flames of those who are calling this a political indictment. And I think if you read the indictment, you listen to Special Counsel Jack Smith, it's anything but that. And the president is right to continue his arm's length distance from the proceedings.
Donna, a quick follow-up to you. When you consider the upcoming campaign, how challenging will it be for Biden to attack Trump politically if he's the Republican nominee, while his Justice Department is also investigating him for similar charges?
Well, if you think about when the primary season ends and when the general election really gets going with two nominees, we're going to be far down the track. We have no idea where we are going to be legally in terms of these court proceedings. We don't know yet whether there will be other charges coming out of the state of Georgia and that proceeding. So we have a long way to go. And I think the best thing that the president can do is what he's been doing. Point to his accomplishments, which have been really tremendous. Travel around to all of those infrastructure projects that are going on right now and continue to tout the progress that's being made with bipartisan support during his presidency. You know, show the American people the goods while the food fight and the craziness is going to happen on the Republican side, and especially if Donald Trump is the nominee.
Maura,
which I expect that he will be, frankly.
Maura, let's bring you in. I want to get your reaction to your former boss, Adam Kinzinger, who tweeted some advice to Trump, saying he should withdraw from the race in shame. Kinzinger has been an outspoken Republican critic of Trump and served on the January 6th committee. The likelihood of Trump heeding his advice seems slim. But as more legal woes mount against Trump, do you agree that your former boss has a point?
We cannot, as a party, afford another 2020 Trump. Quite frankly, he spent most of the time complaining, and we're seeing that now. It's all about him. And for the Republican voters, they have such an opportunity to really be thoughtful in how we approach the primary with the candidates that have all jumped in. So I would hope that they'll take that seriously, this responsibility and the opportunity to elect someone else to run in 2024.
Maura, earlier today, Maura, Trump made his first public appearance since being indicted. This comes as most Republicans are rallying around him, including his presidential challengers. Take a listen.
And I'm deeply troubled to see this indictment move forward, believing that it will only further divide our nation at a time that American families are facing real hardship at home.
I think there needs to be one standard of justice in this country. Let's enforce it on everybody and make sure we all know the rules. You can't have one faction of society weaponizing the power of the state against factions that it doesn't like.
And in America, every single person is presumed innocent, not guilty. And what we've seen over the last several years is the weaponization of the Department of Justice against the former president.
We can't have any more distractions. We can't have the chaos. We've got to leave the negativity behind.
Are you surprised by this level of support? Is it sustainable, Maura?
wouldn't say that they all are supporting it. What I would say is failing to understand the implications of hypocrisy is, in this situation, is failing to understand the electorate. Even those who are tired of Trump may see this as a political maneuver. So it's really important to highlight why it's not. And I think that's an opportunity for some of these people running like Nikki Haley and Chris Christie and Vice President Pence. They can pull from their experience and highlight what they did in this situation when they were leaving office and how they handled their documents. And I think that would be an effective way to separate themselves without necessarily, piling on to Trump. But I don't necessarily think that all what they're saying is a defense of him. I think they're speaking to that electorate that could view this as a political tool.
Maura Gillespie and Donna Edwards, thank you both for being with us. Up next, the line that connects Medgar Evers to the Supreme Court to Donald Trump. My final thoughts. Stay with us.